my mum got me kicked out of the Jehovah's Witness religion, take two. So it was a considerable amount of time ago now that I actually ended up getting disfellowshipped. And the way that it happened was probably fairly, I was going to say unorthodox, but actually I don't think it's that unorthodox at all. I've been talking to my mum and like other people that were in the religion about my feelings on it for a while, and I'd said that I just like I just was struggling with a lot of the belief system and rules and regulations and stuff, and so I did something that I have mentioned in my blog post, which is called fading, which is where you just kind of like try and slowly exit the religion without it being this big massive thing. And so I just kind of stopped going to meetings and stopped spending time with other Jehovah's Witnesses and trying to like be a presence at the congregation. I kind of just tried to sneak away. And my mum obviously noticed, because it's quite a big deal to do that. But also I had just had a new baby, and so I think people give you a little bit of space if you have a baby and maybe don't come to as many meetings anymore. But once I'd kind of faded myself over a period of like 2 years, something like that, I hadn't seen any of the elders for such a long time. I hadn't been to any meetings. I told my mum I didn't really believe it anymore and just didn't really feel like going. I just thought that was it. I would fade, and my brothers had faded. I've got 3 older brothers, and they'd all done the same thing. None of them are disfellowshipped. They'd all just stopped going. They were all baptised, but they all stopped going to meetings, and that was it. And they'd got new girlfriends and wives who weren't Jehovah's Witnesses, and everything had kind of moved on for them in their lives. And I was like, cool, we'll just slowly exit this religion and it won't be this huge, shameful, awful, horrible thing. But my mum, I guess, maybe didn't want the same thing to happen, or did want the same thing to happen, or like likes me less than she likes my brothers, because she came over for a meal to meet my new boyfriend, who I told her about, because I was kind of honest with her about everything that was going on. She came over for a meal to meet him, and everything was fine, and she didn't say anything like, you need to stop going out with him, or you shouldn't be going out with her because she's a Jehovah's Witness, or, you know, she should be a Jehovah's Witness and your relationship's not right. She didn't like ask us if we were like sexually active or anything, but she was trying to be all sort of like our friends. And so I thought, okay, this is cool. This is actually like how life is supposed to move on when you're in this position of like, I'd lost my faith. I'd become, you know, what you'd call a faded Jehovah's Witness. And I just thought my mum was going to be there for me and my children and potentially my new boyfriend, even though we had a difference of belief. And then anyway, 2 days later, I got a call from the elder that I'd been studying with in my congregation to say, I've been told you've got a boyfriend now. And I said, yeah. And he said, can I ask if you're sexually active with your boyfriend? And I said, I don't feel comfortable discussing that with you. And he said, well, you need to let us know what you're doing in regards to like fornication and stuff, because if you're doing something that's against Jehovah's rules, then you need to be disfellowshipped. Or he didn't say disfellowshipped, he didn't say anything about being disfellowshipped, he just said, we need to know your standing in the congregation. And I sort of was like, I don't want to discuss that with you. I don't want to say what I'm up to. I haven't spoken to you for so long, and I just don't go to the meetings anymore, so what more do you want? So I think I just kind of put the phone down and was like, I don't want to discuss that with you. And then like 2 days later or something, my mum texts saying, it's announced last night that you were disfellowshipped. I'll have nothing to do with you anymore until you're reinstated. Goodbye. Actually, I don't even think she gave me a goodbye. I think that was just it. And that was the last time that I spoke to any Jehovah's Witnesses, because once you're booted out, you're booted out. And yeah, it was kind of like weird, because I was expecting to fade in the same way that all my brothers had. Like, my brother was, at the time that I was disfellowshipped, my brother was living cohabiting with a girl. They weren't married. He was a baptized Jehovah's Witness. Me and my brother got baptized on the same day, and he faded and then moved in with a girl, and he wasn't disfellowshipped. I faded. I began dating a boy without moving in with him or anything. This was like really early on in my relationship with my boyfriend. And my mum was like, have you got a boyfriend? And then the others were like, are you sexually active? And I was like, what? And then they were like, you're gone. You're done. Disfellowshipped. And so my mum continues to see all of my brothers, 3 of them, who are all disfellowshipped. Oh no, none of them are disfellowshipped, obviously. They're all faded. But they all had the same, like my brothers have just done the same sort of thing. So it was a weird situation and a weird set of circumstances. I should have expected it because I know the rules, but I kind of thought that from the example that had happened already, I'd get away with it. I didn't. And that's how I got disfellowshipped. Fun time.